Hello, Geordie Skipper here, and in this video, have you ever wanted to find an easier way to do water changes? I know most people ideally would like to find the quickest, most efficient way of doing water changes. I don't know if you guys are doing it, but I used to fill a bucket and try and get the right temperature and use a pump to bring it back into the tank. The way I do it now is a total game changer, and it makes water changes so much easier. And the less water changes are a chore, the more you'll tend to do them. So in this video, I'm going to show you the system I have in place. I have had a few questions regarding how I do the water changes and water temperature, things like that. What I use is a hose. I have an outdoor tap inside. That made me chuckle. But yeah, to make water changes easier. And don't tell me landlord though, because they wouldn't be best pleased. I hide it every time I get an inspection, so I hope you're not watching. So for the water changes, I've got a hose in my little gallery, my little studio area. And in line with the pipework for that hose is a thermostatic mixing valve, which honestly, it's a total game changer. And at this point in the video, I do have to give a massive shout out to a good friend, Steve, who's a plumber, heating engineer, who actually fitted that and come up with the idea. So, wow, thank you so much, mate, if you're watching. In my case, I have a combi boiler. So all that is, water running from your boiler, the cold water and the hot water, comes via this mixer valve and comes out at a regulated temperature. So mine's set, I think it's around 26 degrees. So my water's always around 26, sometimes 27 degrees going into the tank. But by the time that mixes with the water that's already inside, I usually end up with my desired temperature, which is around 24, 25 degrees Celsius. So it just makes life so much easier. So I don't have to mess with mixer taps. Basically, I put my hose in the tank and there you go. The temperature is regulated. It's just so easy. You can just flick from tank to tank, filling the tanks. Also in line with the mixer valve is a shut-off tap, and that's really handy for the winter months. I tend to empty the hose totally anyways at the end of every session. So with that shut-off tap, at least I know it's not going to freeze in the winter months, so it's handy that way. I would highly recommend, if you can, get one fitted. I know a couple of guys who've actually done that, and them say themselves how much of a game changer it has been. And it's all thanks to Steve. Honestly, water changes is just so easy now, especially with having open top tanks. There's no filling buckets or anything. I just put the tap on and fill them up, top them up. Obviously adding the Seachem Prime to dechlorinate the water. I always do that. As soon as the water goes in the tank, that's the first thing I do, is add the dechlorinator. So these valves are what they use in actual residential care homes and hospitals to regulate the temperature, so the elderly don't burn themselves obviously when they get in the bath. So it's really good for that reason. Yeah, so just keep an eye out. If you do purchase one of these valves, make sure the lower temperature starts at the 25, 26 degrees range, because I know a lot of them start at 30, sometimes even 40. I'll leave links in the description to the actual one I've got, but there's loads out there. Just double check for the minimum. I think that's the most important thing. I know when I was looking for one, I had to check that the minimum was 25 degrees. When I was looking at the latest prices for the purpose of this video, they retailed around £40, which is about $48. Money well spent in my eyes. It's well worth doing. So just to summarize there, so basically I've got my boiler. The pipework is where the thermostatic mixing valve's fitted with the cold and hot going in, and runs to my outside indoor tap. And that way, turn on the hose, really simple. The water's set for us at the right temperature. So honestly brilliant. So that's it, guys, just a little short video to show how I do the water changes so easily with this thermostat mixing valve and an inside tap. So like I said earlier, the thermostatic valve I actually use, there's a link in the description. If you can manage to fit one of these in your home, get one, especially if you've got multiple tanks. It just helps so much. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been of some use. Till next time, see you later.